Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning in to the Ed Talk audio collection to help you achieve a whole mind, body, and nutrition. All right. Thank you for tuning in to Ed Talk Podcasts, my Ed Talk audio collection that you can tune into by visiting iTunes and searching Ed Talk audio collection, or simply typing in my name, which is EDOUARDGILLES.com, and that will bring you directly to the online podcast. So this is a daily podcast, mainly focusing on action. So really urging you to stay fit every day in every way. So make sure you check that out. Besides that, I want to congratulate you on making it to the fourth and last week, if not fifth, of the year of of the month of January. So it seems like it's pretty much that could actually happen. So it's January 29th, 2018, and this is the 11th episode of the Ed Talk podcast at FAURadio.com. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast, the podcast about health, nutrition, motivation, inspiration, getting on your grind, getting on your fitness, and getting on your nutrition. That's what it's all about, pretty much. And I come here every Mondays at 3 p.m. and we talk about something that's important and that we should talk about. And today's subject, we're talking about health within the millennial people, within my people. So us millennials, I think we have a lot on our shoulders, right? We got to deal with a lot of stuff. We have to deal with school, student loans, Trump, the media, Trump, the economy. We have to deal with just natural disasters. We have to deal with misconceptions. We have to deal with people bashing our generation. We have to deal with a whole bunch of information. We have to deal with pettiness. We have to deal with Lil Uzi Vert. We have to deal with new hip hop. We have to deal with the lack of affordable apartments to rent. We have to deal with old patterns and old habits of our parents that didn't work for them and is not gonna work for us, and they keep stuffing it down our throat like, take this knowledge of which is not gonna work. So we have it rough, but not any rougher than any other generation. So that's what we can't realize, is that every struggle is just a different struggle. It's not like our parents didn't have it bad. Like your parents, grandparents probably was a slave. So, or maybe you might have to go a couple of generations back. That's if you're black. Or your parents, grandparents, whatever ethnicity or color you are, may have had it way worse than you have it right now. So basically every generation has their issues, has their struggles, has their battles, and we can't try to control or compare like, oh, I went through more than you and this and that. Well, when I was growing up, we had to do this, we had to do that, we had to do that. And we hear that from our parents every day, but like, I understand, but we have our own problems. So it's hard to be healthy in a society that's expecting us to figure out life, right? And life is very hard to figure out in the first place. It's like being put out in a desert and then you're told, listen, I got you, but I'm not going to give you the instructions to escape this, desert. I don't know where the water source is, but here is your life in this desert and let's figure it out. And that's how we are. And we're like that with health. We're like that with everything. So it's hard to be healthy in a toxic environment. So we're living in I could never say this word, in a highly toxic place. I'll put it this way. The highly toxic place of toxic people, toxic land, toxic beliefs, toxic laws, toxic ways of beings, and toxic mindsets, toxic relationships, toxic people in general. So we're living in a high toxic environment. So how can we remain healthy in a level of high toxicity? I think that's how you say the word. So pretty much it's harder to stay good. It's harder to stay healthy in such environment. And if we're working just enough or below the requirements to stay healthy, then we're a lot not healthy. We're definitely striving away from health because a lot of us don't even try. So think about it. If the line have been raised as to how much more you have to work to be healthy, and now you're not even working at all towards health in any form, sort of way, then you're actually really behind on the schedule. So within our millennial generation, we have the knowledge, right? We have the information, but we don't have the application of those information. And I'm not going to come here and be a hypocrite and be like, well, I got it down. I don't. But every day I try to fight the negatives. I try to fight a level of toxic mindset away from my brain. And I work my way as much as I can away from it. And I stand in my beliefs and my values every day. So it's like being, well, today I might have a cookie, right? I might go and get a cookie. That's cool. Like I got six pack abs. I could get a cookie if I want a cookie. But most occasionally, I would not do that. I would say, okay, I'll eat really no dessert. That's called having some sort of formula that you kind of live by. This is my guidelines. On a normal basis, I do this, and that. But if it comes to a point where I actually can, make a different decision and it seems to be legit that I've earned it, I will do it. And I will make sure that I go back to how I am, right? So that's pretty much how I really want my generation to look at health. Look at health as your automatic settings, your restore point. Like Windows have a restore feature. You have a restore point in your life. So for me, I have been going through some cycles in life, and I realized the cycles. I'm like, there we go. But what I also realized that I've built in cycles, I've built a restore point of which I can actually revert myself to at any state that I really, really feel like it's necessary. So a lot of us don't have that, and we kind of have to work to get that. And we don't get that by just signing up for gym membership. We get that by being really into the health lifestyle for a long time to build that pathway. So in order to build new neurons and new brain cells, you have to walk a certain path. It's like walking. It's like when you're educating yourself, you're building a pathway. It's like somebody's walking in it every day. So it's like if you walk in the shoes that you claim to be in, you'd be walking in that pathway within your brain cells to make you smarter and actually make you an expert in what you're actually learning. So if you're exercising and you're doing it every day, then that means you're on the trail towards your future envisioned, beautiful, wonderful, like great self that you wanted to be. Like you really, really wanted to be this person, and now you're really about to do it. Now you're on the path. So on that pathway, if you're doing it right now, you're building new skills. You're learning new lessons. That's the thing with exercise. It's really not just a physical thing. It's a mental thing. If you want to increase a better performance in any other area of your life, you start with exercise. And I promise you, then your life will be like, okay, because exercise builds structure. I'm a former athlete, and I really dedicate any of my future successes to my past athletic ventures. Being an athlete have taught me every single attribute that I have now in some sort of way. Not deeply, intricately, but being an athlete have taught me how to stay consistent with my goals, have a vision intact, and work on it every day, right? So all the time, whether I feel like it or I don't. So when I used to be in high school, I would literally wake up earlier to go to school just to run on the track before anybody else got to the school. And then, of course, I had to go get my school breakfast because, we had to do what we had to do to survive. But I would be out there running while everybody not even in school yet. So that meant an extra work. It meant staying after school. I would run after practice, leading the pack in practice. So I've learned how to really work really, really, really hard. And I've had dreams of really, really big dreams. I wanted to go to the NBA. That was one of my big dreams that really gave me confidence to achieve a lot of the small things that will soon create a lot of big pathways toward greater successes and me helping more people and more fulfillment and all that great stuff. Although there's like little bundles of problems along the way. So basically what I'm trying to say is a lot of us never build a pathway to have how we operate in our fitness being, in our fitness ways of how we exercise. We don't really learn how to do it. We just want a microwavable meal. And that's the issue. We want microwavable meals. It's time for you to sit down and get your ingredients and get your recipes and get your mind right and get your feet clean, because you might have to stir with the foot, in the island they say if you cook good, you got to stir with the feet. So that's an analogy. I don't really know where that came from. But anyways, you have to get ready, get cooking, and build the pathway so you know how to get back to your good self, your productive self. So it's okay to take hits in life, but you have to have a game plan that's already stashed for you. So when you need it, you just grab it. So when you need it, you grab it. And your life is just a little bit better. So for me, it's basically this. If my life is not how I wanted it to be, it's basically I'm ignoring my automatic settings and I'm going the way I want to, because for some reason I'm temporarily satisfied or really don't know why I would really do that. But we do it, I do it, you do it, and your friend do it. We just keep going on with our habits, even though knowing that this is not the right way. So I find myself doing that at times. So what does that mean? I think it means always surrounding yourself with that thing that you've envisioned for yourself, with that pathway, with that set of values you got. You find other ways of hearing it again. If it's not your own voice, if you don't do content like I do here, you can't hear your own voice. Hear someone else's voice and hear that voice over and over to remind you of what you wanted, what you really envisioned for yourself. So that's where affirmations come very useful to your life. I try to do it all day, every day, in the morning when I wake up, and all day. So I do affirmations all the time. But you could just do a couple minutes of affirmations in the morning and before you go to sleep, and it will really change your life and change your music, and you'll change your life. So change the way you're looking upon about life and walking around, because if you listen to certain things and certain types of music and also not having the proper affirmations, a lot of us, we have negative self-talk. Most of our thoughts are actually negative and not positive, and any source of negativity is actually detrimental to your life and makes you sicker by the negatives. So the more negatives you get into your lives, the more L's you get into your lives. So you take L's just as much as you are negative. So that's why it pays to be positive. So skip the L's, get paid, and be positive all day, every day, even when you don't really feel like it. Like now I've really managed to really center myself. Sometimes like I will get mad, like I would get mad at you, but you're just not worth my energy right now. Like that's what you gotta say to people sometimes. You don't have to say that out loud because they might not like it, but you can. And you should, just to make sure they know who they're dealing with. Oftentimes you can't let people look at you and think of you any sort of way. You have to make sure that they know who they're dealing with. So that's when the source sense of authority comes in, right? So I say this one thing: it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what you think, it doesn't matter what you believe. But if you believe it or say it or think it, think and say and be with authority, and say it like you mean it. Say it with your chest. So you have to ensure that what you're saying is really meaningful to you and is really important to you and is the truth. It's the truth. It's nothing but the truth, son. So if you really want to make an impact and you want to kind of like be a little healthier, I think even if I fall astray, my desire to be great is far more greater than my ignorance for temporary satisfaction. So I am ruled by the thoughts that is in my head. I am ruled by the visions that is ingrained in my blueprint and in my soul, and not by the circumstance of which I face, and not by the standards of which others have put for me. So my life is solely a representation of what I think and what I want. And what I do is what I get. And with that, I am grateful for whatever I get, whether good, bad, horribly looking or good looking, delicious or spicy. Whatever you get is yours to keep, and it's yours to be grateful for. So a lot of times we are very ungrateful for the things that we already should be grateful for, and we misplace our values in things that are not really determining how successful we truly are. So some people think that they have to look a certain way in order to be happy, but it's not really how you look. It's really how you feel and what you put into your mind and your body. And really, you could look like a bum and act and be a king, because inside you and in your mind, in your stomach, in your veins, you have the flow of healthy energy, and that energy is what keeps you thriving and alive, and you got to keep that. So we're going to go through now different questions, and we're going to answer these questions. We've been talking and discuss about the millennial generation and health. And if you're just now tuning in, you're tuning into the Ed Talk podcast at our radio. And I really appreciate that you made it here and going to listen to this episode of Controlling and Keeping Up with Your Health, because there is nothing more impactful and important than health. If you can't be healthy, then what is there to be if not health? If not health,
ladies and gentlemen, you're
then
tuning
what
into
is
the
there
Ed
to
Talk
be?
audio collection to help you achieve a whole mind, body, and nutrition. Hey, thank you for tuning into the Ed Talk audio collection. Today is January 18, 2018, and isn't it a wonderful day to be alive? I want to congratulate you on making it through the week and getting towards the end of the week. And I do not want you to rejoice because it's the end of the week, but I want you to rejoice because it's the beginning of the best time of your life. And what do I mean by that? As we move on towards the stage of enlightenment, it is not...
All right. If you heard that, that is a segment from my Ed Talk audio collection, and I've been playing those throughout the podcast today too. Make sure that you go subscribe to me on Apple Podcast, and go to the Apple Podcast app if you have iPhone, and simply type in Ed Talk Audio Collection, and you will find it on a daily basis. I have new podcasts coming out, usually in the mornings, pushing you to keeping on with your health, and with the grind of staying healthy and being healthy. So that's the goal of that. And I want to thank you very much for really tuning in to the Ed Talk podcast. And today I decided that I was going to really come here and talk about the millennial and health. So the trend is that among us young folks, we are living off of youth. And we're so hungry and thirsty, sometimes both figuratively and literally. And we want to be happy, and we want to have fun and enjoy our youth. And that's all right. That's how it should be. That's how life should be. That's how things should be. If it wasn't like that, then something would be wrong. So, with great blessings come great curses. So with youth, you're like, well, I'm very good looking. I'm very good looking. I can get whoever I want. And I'm young. I got all the time in the world. I'm going to college, getting a degree, and I'm going to graduate. I'm going to be a lawyer and an engineer. We're going to make 6 figures a year. Life is going to be great. And what you got to say about that? I could do what I want right now. I got technology. I could do what I want, literally. But we're like, okay. But what we don't realize as young folks is that although we are young and we have plenty of time, we have a whole lifetime to do stuff, and we shouldn't be rushing. But every day that we're not taking care of our body, we're hurting it. So if we could just realize that one thing, that you could evolve throughout your life. You could have multiple careers. You could be a millionaire one day and be poor one day. And that's really okay. Like, to be honest, it's fine. Whatever cycles you go through in life, sometimes it's necessary for your growth and for your development. And that's cool. But if every day you're not taking care of self, then the vessel that's walking through life is going to be sluggish. You're going to get less energy. You're going to be more stressed in the future. So if you do reach that 30 or 40 age and you've made a great life for yourself, would you not like to really enjoy that time? Now, you cannot disagree with me that you do not want to enjoy the hard-earned money that you've worked for all your life. So we're like, get money, but what do we do after we get money? So it's one thing to kind of get money, but it's one thing to get wealth. So you could get money or you could get wealth. And wealth is more than physical things. Wealth is a combination of the mind, body, and nutrition. So to really acquire true health, you have to acquire true wealth. And you could not have the money part, but you can be highly wealthy by having very clean organs and by having a lot more life and vibrance and focus and becoming smarter over time. And that happens through exercise, meditation, and nutrition. And we tend to not really focus on what's really more important than anything. So status quo was really important to people. How people perceive me is really significant to people. My grades are really important. But some people, including me, like I said, not a hypocrite, have lived lives in college. And you know what? This is a time that I'm supposed to struggle for a greater future. And you know what we've done to ourselves, including me, and I regret Well, I haven't always done it. I've only done it for a little bit of time. But we ignore what's good for our bodies to pass a class. Like, really, I honestly do not care more about the 6 credits than I care about the 6 years I shut off my life by living for 4 years on donuts and ramen noodles and trash food. If I would have only done what I could to get the fruits and vegetables and what I had access to them, had I really paid attention and used it, probably could have added more years into my life. But now in the future, now I deal with the diabetes and the heart, high blood pressure, and all these issues because of my past way of being. So that's why health within the millennial is not so much about what do I do, what do I do, what do I do. It's basically what do I know how to do already that I'm just not doing right now, right? And that includes simple. Do you even drink water? Do you drink water, bro? Like, it's not even, shouldn't even be do you live. It's do you drink, bro? Like, do you drink water, bro? So you're supposed to drink about 2 liters, no, actually 3 liters of water a day to pretty much dilute the toxins in your blood. Because if you don't, then you're gonna have your kidney doing all this extra work that it shouldn't be doing. Should just be, working, and you're making it do extra work. Now, this sucker don't like you anymore, and now you're screwing up with stuff over here, and you're not even moving to add that. So you're not moving it, but you're losing that. So you don't want to not move it and lose it. You just want to be grooving it. That's the motto. So I don't want you to be a saint. I don't need you to be the best health expert. I simply need you to move, meditate, laugh, enjoy life, get rid of toxic people and toxic things within your life, and live by a set of values, believe in those values, have a vision, have a mission, be great, know who you are, be grateful, be inspiring, help others. Remember, health is wealth. And that's pretty much my little message, pretty much the purpose of this podcast. And whether you like this or you hate this, this is good for you. Because if there's one thing you could do today and one thing you could do after listening to this is take a walk outside. And take a walk outside and just listen to some really positive music, maybe some reggae. Literally reggae normalizes your heartbeat, your heart rate, your heartbeat, and really calms you down and can lower your blood pressure and smoothen out your day. Instead of listening to something more aggressive all the time, and you're wondering why you always want to cut somebody's head off. So a lot of times we kind of don't realize what's really important. For me, when I'm mentally driven and focused on something, working on something, I am very happy and fulfilled. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on in other areas. It's like, if I'm happy and I'm working and I'm motivated and I'm just like, we're going to do something, we have a mission, and we're going to work, and we're going to grind, and we're going to lift, and we're going to be beasts. And I was like, yeah, beast mode. Let's do this. I get energy. Like, my life is great. But once I kind of lose that momentum or lose that motivation or lose that inspiration, then that's when things start going in the gutter. So with that being said, it's pretty much your values. What you think is right for you is what's right for you, and if you don't get it, you ain't gonna be happy. So for me, if you raise your level of expectations, it's either you will meet those expectations or you will not meet those expectations, and you could either be sad about it or work harder to eventually meet those expectations. But with no expectations, that's like a lost sheep walking around, just walking and wandering, and be like, maybe one day I'll get some direction and I'll find a shepherd to lead me. But a beast and a lion finds his way through the jungle of life. You see, I have been through little life experiences of which I had to make things happen for myself. And in those experiences, I've always realized that nothing is impossible. No weight is impossible to get rid of, and no amount of muscle is impossible to put on. You are not in debt for the rest of your life. You are not stuck to being small or skinny or weak or tired or fat or not healthy. You're not stuck to that. You're stuck to your perception of self and your self-worth to work to meet those expectations. And some of us never meet them, but at least we work towards them, and others don't have them. So they lay astray in the desert like sheep, waiting for a shepherd to take and save them. But those who are beasts and lions and heads of the household, and those who know what they want in life, they go after what they want. They stop saying, well, I tried to lose weight before. I tried to do this before. I don't care how many times I fail. I don't care how many times I embarrass myself or embarrass my life or feel bad or let myself down or just get kicked out of school. I am a beast. I have a mission. I have a purpose. And nothing and no one will get in my way to achieve those things that I want to achieve. Only my mindset is going to determine what I do. A man needs a strong desire to succeed in order to succeed. But you have no desire to change, yet you want to reap the benefits of changing. So sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I think of, well, Ed, you're highly educated, highly skilled, you're a good-looking guy, and you got a lot of things going on for you. So why is your life like this? Why should you be greater? And then I also look back into myself and I tell myself, well, Ed, you've had many great instances to do greater things than you're doing now. But you've made some decisions that have laid you astray, or maybe have slowed down the pathway to success. And now you have built much more character. And now the process is a little bit longer. But every day you have to figure out what to do to get out this rut. It's not like I'm in the ground like, oh my God, it's horrible for me. I'm done. It's over now. I got kicked out of school again and life is just horrible and I can't do this anymore. And you just want to cry and you're like, oh my God, it really hurts. But what you got to realize is that the process is really intricate and interesting because life will repeat itself over and over unless you change. So unless you change, the last 5 years is going to be, the next 5 years is going to be just like the next 5 years. You're still going to remain bigger and fat and dishonest and hungry and angry and depressed and sad, unless you say no more. Unless you say, I'm done and this is not me. Wait a minute. Who life talking to here? This is a king you're talking to right here. You gotta be like, this is a queen you're talking to right here. Hold on, life. You tripping right now. You ain't gonna do me like this, man. You know who you talking to? You know who my ancestors are. You don't mess with me. And you got to come to life with this attitude of confidence. And you know, confidence does a couple of things to people. It either inspires them or it inspires spitefulness. confidence either inspires people or inspires spitefulness. And most people are very spiteful creatures. Like, look at that guy. Who does he think he is? Like, who could think a girl? Oh, she looks so good. I wish I could look like that. Who does she think she is? And they just keep rambling and rambling about life. And then you have the other people who get inspired by those things. And they're like, look at that guy. There he go. Look at him go. What do I need to do to be like that guy? What do I need to do to be better than that person? And that kind of mentality is the mentality that we need to have within the the millennial generation, for us to be healthy, happy, and enjoying life, you know. And we are so disconnected, I gotta say. And sometimes I feel disconnected, and I see other people being disconnected with other people, and I'm like, whoa, we are really look like we're connected, but very disconnected. And we need to connect better, because we're looking at the wrong stuff. The distractions have become our idols. The desserts have become our meal. What is there to satisfy a little bit of our desire for being outside of nature's natural laws have become our God. So what they give us to enjoy ourselves sometimes have become our sense of getaway all the time, where life is the gateway to create and be a wonderful person. But most of us, we forget to live, and we wait to get away from living. So we're like, I can't wait till I can't be in my life anymore, so that I can be in this other realm of, just faded, or just another realm of stuffing a lot of food, so I feel really, really, really good. Munchie mode. And we are really out of tune. And there's this thing calling us, like, come, we got this for you right here. All you got to do is let the other one go. So for you, I have a great treasure. We have lives being changed. We have finances coming up. We have empires being built in this hand for you. And God has it right here. And he's like, yo, if you want to come and get it, nah. And you're like, you see Jesus, or you see God, or you see universe, whatever you want to say. I see what you got for me. It looks real nice. It looks real, real good. But you see, I got this right here. And let me tell you a little bit more about this chocolate cake. This chocolate cake will shiver your mouth, make it drip, heal some spit of savoring, wanting it. And then when you taste it, it tastes just like chocolate. And I've had chocolate for years and years, but this next 15 minutes of chocolate is 15 seconds of chocolate is so much more important than this lifetime of greatness that you got in this other hand. And I find myself, but the day that you can say no, and you look the other way, and you really run towards those dreams that you got, and you never look back, because if you look back, you're going to be turned into a statue, and you're going to be obliterated. So you want to keep on running towards your goals, building these new mental pathways that I was talking about earlier. So you're building this new mental pathway, and you want to keep running and focusing on the prize, and every day You fall, you hurt your knee, but you keep on running. You get teased because you're bow-legged, but you keep on running. You got to keep running, and you got to keep moving, because if you don't, you're not going to keep on grooving. All right? And that's where you're like, well, I've been running. Where am I going? Like, I don't know where the hell I'm going now. I'm just running, and it's not safe for black men to run in this neighborhood. I might get shot by somebody. Somebody might call the cops on me, and I don't know what I'm about to do, because your boy ain't got no bail money, no insurance money, no white friends to bail me out. And life really is, I don't know what I'm going to do here. So what do you do in those circumstances? You're like, well, that's life. So basically we're running, like we're running. I realized this. I was like, every day I'm waking up, I'm like, I'm doing all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, one day things are going to be so much different, And this is going to be like so much bigger, like a bigger, better thing. And we're going to really, really impact and change the world and stuff. But right now, I don't like what I'm looking like here. I don't like what's going on here. This is not like looking like, it's not catching my drift. And then you're like, when is this stuff, about to change? And you're like, yeah. But life is kind of cool though. You're like, I'm doing some cool stuff. I'm meeting some cool people. And I'm really just being. And like, this is some sort of like off the movie type stuff, And you're like, whoa, I'm actually living life. I'm actually already successful. Life is already great. I'm just going through the motions. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Sometimes I'm active, sometimes I'm down. Sometimes I'm running, sometimes I'm lifting, sometimes I'm sobbing, and sometimes I'm shouting. And I'm like, yes, it's my time to move and grind. And you're like, yeah. But other days you're like, oh my God, I cannot believe that this has happened to me again. And you're like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And you're petrified. You're horrified, and you just don't know what to do. So here's what it is. It's like catalysts. There are catalysts in life. So I came up with this whole new diagram of how a lot of things are starting to like make sense to me, because it's happening over and over, and I'm picking up patterns, and I'm learning patterns, and I'm learning from other people, and reading and watching and learning and being, and reading and learning and watching and being. So I'm putting up these little things, and I'm realizing that I'm in the process of being, that I may not look like a really like cool guy now, but this is the process. So within that process, I've learned something very, very, very intricately that I want to share with you. And what I've learned is that we are literally creating ourselves with our words. Right? So everything that I claim to be, I've been being. If I claim it, I am it. If I say it, who can say otherwise? So I've been a lot of things. I've been an athlete, I've been this, I've been that. I've fixed computers, I've done that, I've done that. And every time I do it, and yes, I do it. I do that, yeah. And I tell everybody I do it, and that's why I be it. So people are like, well, this is the guy that does this, and he does that. And for a while, I was being categorized by what I've done did. So you are what you claim to be. But once you make the shift from what you claim to be to what you are, then nothing else, is going to define you anymore. Like, no matter what career I do or what I do, I'm Edward Gilles. My name is Edouard Gilles, and I am me. And this is what I do. I'm just me, and I live by my mission in life. And this is my mission, and I believe it, and we're working every day to achieve this mission in whatever way possible. Now, that's a sense of authority. That's a sense of I know what I want. I don't care what I have or who I am right now or what I'm in right now. But I am what I say I am, and I live by this set of principles to be a healthy person. That's knowing what's going on in the mind, that's involved with what's going in with the body, and that's very, very, very picky about what's going into the body, either through the food or the conversations. And those people, the separation between those two types of people is really, really what I'm trying to master. So I want to separate my past self from my self in creation and separate those two people from who I'm really supposed to be. So who I was is not a reality anymore. Who I am is the reality, and who I'm created to be is the goal. So right now, I need to mock the goal self as much as I can until I become who I want to be. So I need you to start mocking your gold self. So if you want to lose this weight, right, we're gonna lose weight. We're going to start a business. We're going to do this and that. You're going to start mocking the future you. So you're going to start mocking the future you. I want you to think about that future self now for the next 30 seconds. I'm just going to let it to you. You're going to think about your future self for the next 30 seconds. And then we're going to come back. And then we're going to talk more about this. All right, so now that you've thought about your future self and your current self, I want you to look at the habits and stuff that's blocking you from all the great stuff that you have to offer. And I want to tell you right now, and I have to confess that every day I come here on this podcast and I, through the videos and all the content y'all see, it's basically a guy in a room talking to himself. And I've managed to coach myself through my words. And now I have them stored and captured for the rest of my life. And every time that I feel like I'm not being the person of which I want to be, I come and I listen to it and I'm like, Ed, get your stuff up, son. Get back on track. Remember, you got greatness within you. And every day I gotta believe it more and more, because I've heard the words of God in my head sometimes saying, listen here, son, the way you're living is not right, and what you're doing is not right. And I have some great stuff for you to do, but unless you be of who you say that you should be, you will never do those things. So if you listen to this podcast and you're all pumped up and you're like, I'm going to take control of my life, I'm going to take control of my nutrition, and I'm going to take control of my health, and you don't do it and you feel a little bit like a hypocrite because you said you was going to do it, I just want you to know that that's part of the process, and it's part of the grind, and it's part of learning and reinforcing it. So fail, fall, get up, moving, keep it grooving, and keep it working. And I'm really, really happy to be here on this Monday to talk on this Ed Talk podcast, man. It's really, really interesting to have a radio show, have a TV show, have a food show, and FAU has given me opportunities to do a lot of different stuff, doing them at their minor capabilities now, really to do them in big scenes in the future. This is like me preparing for what is to come. And I think life is really us preparing for our greater selves. Because we are always better than we think we are. And the reason why a lot of us never get to such greatness is because they never really truly think they are great. And the lack of belief is the lack of relief from stress, relief from worry, relief from I don't know how things are going to work out. When you know that things are going to work out, you know. And life is just that much more easier. I want to thank you very much for tuning in to the Ed Talk podcast here on OurRadio.com. And every Monday at 3 p.m. you can listen to this show. Stay motivated and inspired to take control of your health, take control of your mind, and take control of your body. So if you want to go beast mode, and you want to look beast mode, you want to eat beast mode, act beast mode, work beast mode, and make money like beasts do, then you listen to the Ed Talk audio collection. And in the process of my learning, we grow and become great people together here on this podcast. And I want you to remember that you have unlimited power within you to achieve whatever it is that you want. And I really mean that. Even if it looks like it's not happening for you right now and that things are really horrible and you're just going through it right now, just remember that you have unlimited power to achieve whatever it is that you want. But until you believe that you have the unlimited capability to achieve greatness, the world will forever miss your talents, your gifts, and all the great and amazing things that you have to offer. So thank you for tuning in to Ed Talk. Please like, subscribe, share, rate, post, tell somebody, share it. Remember, Ed Talk Audio Collection, iTunes. Follow me on SoundCloud, CEO Ambitionist, and my Instagram, CEO Ambitionist. For more info, visit EDOUARDGILLES.com. Beast mode.